Welcome back to my channel, everyone. So before we get into this week's video, I want to remind you to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss a video from Let's Do Our 30s, okay? You can be in the know as soon as the video goes up. You can watch, you can like, you can comment, we can chat with each other, and it'll be great. So subscribe and click the notification bell. This week's video is all about my experience with microblading, and I think this will be a two-parter because the experience isn't over just yet, so I can't exactly give you the whole entire rundown, but what I can do is tell you what it's been like so far. It's been a week, and then I can give you another update once we've got the full situation down. So let's get into it. What is microblading? Well, let me read you the definition from our good friend Wikipedia. So, according to wikipedia.com, microblading is a tattooing technique in which a small handheld tool made of several tiny needles is used to add semi-permanent pigment to the skin. Microblading differs from standard eyebrow tattooing because each hair stroke is created by hand using a blade which creates fine slices in the skin, whereas eyebrow tattoos are done with a machine and single needle. Microblading is typically used on eyebrows to create, enhance, or reshape their appearance in terms of both shape and color. It deposits pigment into the upper region of the dermis, so it fades more rapidly than traditional tattooing techniques, which deposit pigment deeper. Microblading artists are not necessarily tattoo artists and vice versa because the techniques require different training. So, for those of you that asked, that's what microblading is. I decided that sounds great. I want my brows to be permanently on 10, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. It did take me a while to finally pull the trigger and be like, I'm gonna set an appointment. But I had been looking into it for a while. I decided to get my brows done at Brow GEEKS with Chloe Hall. It's a new business venture for her. She's been open for a while here in the DMV region, and so I love supporting a small business, and she was great. So I decided to document my experience. So here's what I was thinking and feeling as I went to my appointment. Spoiler alert, I did not film the actual microblading, and I'll tell you why in a second after you see this video of my before and how I was feeling heading into it. This is the last time I have these eyebrows. And you can see I have a little pimple here, so hopefully that's not a problem. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Hopefully it won't hurt too much. I am curious to see how she'll shape my brows and like how the whole process works. I've seen like short clips and videos on like Instagram and YouTube, but I've never seen the process done in person. So I think it'll be interesting to see exactly how, you know, they go about like giving a shape and choosing the pigments and the density and all of that. During the process, Chloe put a numbing cream on my brow. Here's a selfie I snapped with one brow with the numbing cream and one brow with the outline that she did for the shape we were going for. For me, I don't know if it was just me, the numbing cream didn't really work all that well. So in this part of my eyebrow, I didn't feel much. However, in the front part, I felt every single one of those cuts. And I also obviously did not read the Wikipedia definition going into this microblading experience because I, for whatever reason, thought it was like a tattoo. I didn't realize it was one blade tool individually making every single cut. Didn't know that. Also, it kind of felt like severe paper cuts. If you've ever cut yourself on foil or really thick paper, like construction paper, not to where you bleed, but you feel that cut and it's a little deeper, that's what it felt like every single cut. It was painful. But on the tail end where the numbing cream worked, I didn't feel it as much. Also, when she did the outline on each brow, she used a numbing gel before she went in and did the middle part. And that numbing gel worked a lot better, and so I didn't feel a lot of the filling in part. She said that's because the gel that she uses second is for broken skin, so it's a little more effective. And I was in heaven when I couldn't feel it. It didn't bother me at all. But the parts that I could feel, honey, I was considering coming back and leaving with one brow. Like, girl, Chloe, I can't do it. It's too much. I cannot. But I'm glad I stuck it out and I left with 2 brows that are symmetrical, because my brows on their own are a little non-symmetrical. They got a mind of their own. And so here's what I was thinking, what they look like when it was first done. And here's how they look. I think they look pretty good. They'll definitely lighten, she said, as they heal. So they won't be this dark, and I did want like a lighter look. I also wanted to keep it more natural so that whenever I do wear makeup, I can obviously, you know, add a little brow powder and gel to make it, you know, a little bit more dramatic. But if I'm not wearing makeup, I didn't want them to look like makeup eyebrows, if you know what I mean. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say the initial strokes and like outline was probably around an 8. After the gel, I would say it was around like a 4. And then as that gel started to wear off, it went back up to like the 8 level. In about 4 hours, she gave me some tattoo soap and some ointment. So I washed them and put some ointment on them. And then the healing process got started. So it's day 2. So far I haven't noticed any flaking. They do look a bit darker. I don't know if you can see, but they look a little darker to me than they did yesterday. She said that they will darken before they get a little lighter, and that'll be like the final color. So they're not like the final way they're gonna look just yet. Good morning. It's day 3, and I think I'm still healing pretty nicely. Okay, so I still have a little mascara. I haven't washed my face yet. Don't think I'm dirty, but I just want to show you guys kind of what my morning and night routine is like with my eyebrows. So first I wash my hands. I just took a shower, but I still like to wash my hands anyway, because, you know, I mean, I'm always worried about like infections and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure that they're extra clean. This is the soap that I got that I've been using twice a day, in the morning and the night. So just take a little bit, I squeeze it onto the back of my hand. See, like a very little bit. And this is tattoo soap. I'm gonna take a little bit of water and mix it in, and then basically I just go through my brow. It doesn't lather a whole lot. Like, as you can see, there's a little bit of lather, but it's not like soapy. She told me when I do this to make sure that I go in the direction of the hair and not against the direction of the hair. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of water and just rinse it off. Oh, water's kind of hot. Okay, good temperature now. So basically, I'm just taking the water and just working the soap back out. Take a paper towel and just basically pat dry. And usually when I do this, I get like a little bit of pigment. You can see it comes off. But not a lot. So here's the pigment from the second eyebrow that's come out a little bit. I just use a Q-tip. This. Got a little bit too much right there. So far I haven't had like any itching or anything like that. I don't seem to have any flaking, so apparently that's coming. I just don't know when. This is day 6. It is Sunday. I haven't washed my face yet because I was about to, and I noticed that we have some scabbing finally. I think you can kind of tell. So anyhow, we've got some scabbing. I feel like there's a little more scabbing like right here in this brow. Oh yeah, now you can kind of see it more. And like some right there. Chloe did check in with me a few days ago, so I guess about 4 days after I came in for my appointment, just to make sure that everything was going okay. I have continued washing them once in the morning, once at night, and then I put the ointment on. I do wear makeup for work, so I got some makeup wipes and I just carefully wipe the makeup off at the top, and then I wash my face down here. I never let the water splash up or anything into my brows. And I go about my skincare routine as normal. I just make sure that I'm not getting anything in my eyebrows. I also make sure that I don't get them wet in the shower, and I haven't worked out at this point because she recommends not working out for, I think it's about a week. So I think I'm nearing the end of that, just so that your sweat doesn't push the pigment out. Overall, I haven't found it too uncomfortable. I've just gotten to the patchy stage. So I've just kind of developed the first sort of scab. So I'll kind of get closer so you can see. Hopefully this is focusing, yeah. So you can see I've just started to develop some scabs. So hopefully the camera picks it up for you. It is a little patchy, but as the scabs kind of naturally fall off, then it will be back to being uniform. Now, let's get to the big question. Is it worth it? Depending on where you live, microblading can cost anywhere between, I'd say, $400 to $700, and it hurts and it takes a long time to heal. The healing process is about 2 weeks or so. So is it worth it? So far, I say yes. Pain and money aside, I definitely see that it's saved me time thus far doing my makeup. I always have to spend at least 15 minutes on my eyebrows. That may seem extreme for some people. If it doesn't float your boat, it doesn't float your boat, but it floated mine. And I definitely have loved not having to do them. Thus far, I would definitely say it's worth it. I would do it again. I'm curious to see what the final result is. So if something changes between now and being fully healed, my opinion may change. If I lose maybe a lot of pigment, or if they are a little too light or a little too dark when they're finally healed. But for now, I say it is worth it. So have you tried microblading? Do you want to try microblading? Do you have any questions I didn't answer in this video? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. So please, 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 let's chat below. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell, and I will see you next week.